I was sitting outside of my car, leaned up against my back tire. I remember feeling complete, perfect stillness of calming, but no other emotion. I remember I looked up to the sky, and it was so warm and bright, but there was no sun, just beautiful blue sky. I looked around me and was in a field of gold-colored wheat, and there were beautiful mountains. I turned my head to the right toward my front tire, and there was a woman sitting next to me. She had a blue and white striped shirt, beautiful curly brown hair, and my first thought was she looks like the 80s era. She was looking at me and crying, but I could not feel any response emotion to her crying. I just remember being confused as to why she was crying, but there was no physical emotion attached to my confusion. I just felt one feeling, and it was good and calm, but my thoughts knew that my feeling when looking at her was that of confusion. She started telling me that everything is going to be okay and it's over now. She was telling me this, but her mouth was not moving. She told me it's over. I am okay now, repeating it's all done. You are okay now. All of a sudden, I felt really cold, and my focus turned away from her. The sky was now a dark gray, and I could hear ambulance sirens in the background. I woke up in the hospital with a neck brace on, and the nurse fed me lasagna and green beans. Then someone came in the room and placed fake money on the end of my bed and asked me to add up the coins to a dollar value. I was unable to and felt frustrated. The morning of the accident, I later learned that the neighbor of the house I was at left for work that morning and found my purse in their yard. They felt something was wrong, looked through my purse and found my ID. With no other contact information, the couple who found my purse looked me up on a social media site and linked me to our family's restaurant we were involved with building and working there during the startup. The couple called the restaurant and asked for me, but was told I no longer work there. The couple explained they found my purse, and immediately my family was notified, and my brother called every hospital until he found me. I then found out that the morning of the accident I called my birth mother and told her I was driving down the road with Mike and said that I had a shotgun out the window and I was hunting ducks. I was coming home so she could cook them for me. I then disconnected the call, and immediately my mother started praying in what she calls tongues. When my father came to get me from the hospital, I let him know I was okay because this woman was with me the whole time and took care of me. After explaining her to him, he looked like all the color drained out of his face. He dug up a few pictures from my baby book to share with me and right away recognized the woman in one of the photos was the one sitting outside my car with me. My dad went on to tell me that her name was Trish. She was my nanny when I was born and lived with us at the faith-based home my parents ran. Trish died in a rollover when I was 1 year old. I also found out that a woman was driving behind me on a stretch of highway the morning of the accident and witnessed my car cross the median onto oncoming traffic. My car then struck a tree and rolled down a steep embankment. I was not found outside my vehicle. I had to be removed from it. A few months after the accident, I was in a youth group program that took us to the neighboring state of Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere to attend a Sunday service. The building holds 100 people max. After the service, I made my way to the common area for coffee and was approached by a tiny, very old lady who introduced herself by saying, "I heard you saw my daughter Trish. Trish used to write songs and music. Will you find them for me, her poems?" That is all I remember of our conversation. Currently and forevermore, I am married to my best friend, the love of my life in our home with a job I love so much. I help to take care of others and have never been in a closer relationship with my whole family. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. I hope that even one word I shared will help someone out there. This story was shared by Ashley H. and happened in 2010.